So our next bit after we've made the paddles is to make the ball. So this one's got a little bit more coding involved in to make this work. So we're going to grab a new sprite from the new sprite section and we will choose the ball. Now if you want to choose something like a bunch of bananas or a baseball or something, be my guest. But you know what, to get started with and keep it simple, let's just go with ball. We'll leave the name. Now I notice that the ball label has got a capital. That's fine, leave it as it is. If you want to rename it, you can. Actually, maybe you can't. Yes, you can. But for now, I'm just going to leave it. That's fine by me. So we need to give this some code that says, hey, look, ball, when you start, I want you to go moving in any direction. Absolutely any direction. And if you come along and hit one of these paddles, I want you to bounce off. And I'm going to get it to bounce off at 90 degrees. So if I can get you to sort of imagine if it's coming down here on this angle, it would bounce down here. And that's quite important. If we had it set to 180 degrees, which is basically straight back to where it came from, bounce, bounce, and it's going to get pretty boring pretty quick. So we've got to make this ball move around a little bit. So let's get it started with an event that when the green flag is clicked, the first thing we need to do is get it to move in a certain direction or in any direction. So we're going to go point in direction. Now at the moment that says 90 degrees, but that's not really what we want. We actually want to have a random. So I'm going to grab this, pick a random and drop that into the spot that was 90 degrees. And I want this random to be anywhere from 0 to 360. If you think about a compass and 360 degrees in a circle, basically what I'm saying is go from anywhere in a circle. So now that we've got that done, it's going to point in the direction, but it's not going to move yet. So what we want to do is we want to say, all right, let's move you 5 steps. And there's a really useful little feature here called if on edge bounce. So we'll grab that. Okay. Now we are going to change this in a sec, but just to prove it. So we're saying point in the direction of anything, move 5 steps, if on edge bounce. And if I run that, it doesn't really do anything. It just sort of moves 5 pixels. It's sort of quite boring, really. It's not really an exciting game. See how many times you can click the green flag to do nothing. So there's a problem with this. We need to keep giving it that instruction over and over and over again. So I'm going to need to grab a loop and I need a forever loop. So let's pop that in there. So now what I'm saying is go in any direction and forever move 5 steps. And if you hit the edge, bounce. Let's try that. And there we go. Perfect. Pretty exciting. You could sit here and watch this all day. All right. Oh, interesting. You know that it went over the, here we go, over the paddle, because we haven't really told the paddle or the ball to do anything or interact with the paddle yet. Right. So that's coming. So we need to tell it, hey, that's great. Bounce off the edge. That's fantastic. But if you hit one of these paddles, you need to bounce off that. So we're going to need a loop that says if then. It's an if something then. So in this loop of forever, I'm going to drag this if something then. And I'm going to say, if you use a sensing operation, if you touch, drop this down, paddle 1 red. So move 5 steps, if on the edge bounce, but if you touch the paddle 1 red, I want you to do a couple of things. Well, the first thing I want to do, I kind of want to make it a bit fun. I want a sound. If you hit the edge, play a sound. But then I also want you to turn 90 degrees. So turn a right angle. And I want you to continue moving those 5 steps. Perfect. So let's check it. If you touch the red paddle, play the sound pop, turn 90 degrees and keep moving. All right, and then continue back with this loop. Let's give it a shot. So here it comes. Now I'm going to, oh, that doesn't look right. Let's bring the ball back to the middle and we'll try that again. This time, I'll actually move the paddle to make it hit it. There we go, perfect. Now if you want to change the sound, be my guest. But for now, we're just getting the main bits in place. Now that's all great for the red paddle. We need to make exactly the same thing for the green paddle. So we'll grab if something then. We grab the sensor touching. And of course, this time it's not the red paddle, it's going to be the green paddle. If you hit that, play the sound pop, turn 90 degrees. And it actually doesn't matter which 90 degrees, it doesn't really make too much difference. Turn 90 degrees and move 5 steps. And that there should now, I'll bring the ball back to the middle and play. So now, if I get my fingers on the right keys, I should, bingo. All right, we're going to start to see that it's just starting to come together. I might just stay here and play this for the rest of the day. Better not.